Hey everybody, Livingston here. Today we're jumping into another episode of the Twilight Zone. This time it is a Season 3, Episode 31. The trade-ins came out April 20th, 1962. And if you thought I was going to say Season 3, Episode 30, Hocus Pocus and Frisbee, it's because I was going to watch that today, but for some reason my computer decided to jump over that episode and record Episode 31 instead, and I didn't realize it until I was playing the actual episode, and then it just came up. So I had to redo the intro once again, and now we're going backwards once again. So sorry again, but we're doing the trade-in surprise. And with all that being said, let's jump into some of your comments and see what you had to say about last week's episode, which was episode 29 in season 3, 4 o'clock. Nene's hubby says, I started watching The Twilight Zone in the early 80s. I've watched this episode once, and that's all that needs to be said. I kind of have to agree with you there. I wasn't a big fan of this particular episode for some reason. It just didn't hit with me. The character was not likable. Of course, there were some people that walked into the apartment that were more enjoyable. The guy had a very sinister laugh. It was over the top. Just him saying, 4 o'clock, everything's going to be different. Everyone's going to shrink down to 2 feet. Why the heck would you pick to have anybody be 2 feet, let alone, turning yourself into that, which ended up happening at the very end. So, yeah, just didn't dig this episode as a whole, and I'm with you there. Kindle Square says, this is another episode that I've never seen, and you hit it right on the head. I like when the man's wife came to see him and asked him, why are you doing this? I was waiting for the ending because I was curious myself. Not a good episode for me. Thank you for sharing our comments on your show. No one has ever done that. You're the top of my list. Keep up the good work. Have you ever seen The Night Gallery? That's another show that you can do in the future. I've actually brought up The Night Gallery a couple times on the Twilight Zone throughout the 2 or 3 years that I've been doing the Twilight Zone episodes, and I'm definitely probably going to jump into that as well. Night Gallery, there was also Amazing Stories I brought up. I'm doing The Outer Limits. I just haven't been able to get to it, as well as Tales from the Crypt. So I'm kind of doing a lot of the shows that are like one-off episodes where we have standalone stories. Kind of like that. It's something that I don't have to follow religiously. Like say shows like The Walking Dead, or where you're going through and following a long storyline that spans years. But yeah, definitely wasn't my favorite episode, and I'm going to say probably my least favorite of all the Twilight Zone episodes. Let me know, comment below, where does is this like your least favorite, or is there another least favorite that I haven't watched yet, or is it something that I've already seen that might be your least favorite? I'd like to know. Eric Jansen 394 says, this feels like a story that was supposed to be comic, with Kringle just a cartoony meddler. But Bickle's performance turns it unsettling, psychotic, and creepy. Yeah, I gotta admit, he was a bit on the creepy side. I mean, it was over the top to me, but he did really embrace the character. So, I mean, you gotta give the guy props, I suppose. But, yeah, it could have been more of a comic story, who knows? Rick Kinnett 143 says, was Pete the Parrot the only one to ever notice Rod Serling during an introduction? Ray says the guy from A World of His Own knows Rod is there, but only acknowledges him in the outro, not the intro. Well, there you go. He was answered. But Rick comes back and says, which is why I specified during an introduction, but that guy not only noticed Rod was there, he also made him disappear. Yeah, it's true. Greg number 5 says, this episode should be renamed The Twilight Zone Predicts Internet Trolls. Yeah, it's true. Brian Hicks 3272 says, this episode wasn't really one of my favorites either. It wasn't very well conceived or written, but we're getting close to one of the best episodes, The Dummy. Well, we're not there yet, but yeah, I don't think I've ever seen The Dummy. I think I might have heard of this episode, but I don't particularly remember what it's about, or, any other really. Ray says, one of the all-time worst. I was a guest on a podcast and chose this one to torture the host with. Yeah, this is really not that great of an episode. I actually got to sit down and kind of gestate on it a little bit. And when you kind of go back and edit what you just currently did, and you kind of get a different view of what was going on, and when you get to see things from a different point of view, in that you know what's going to happen at the end, it just wasn't a good episode all in all. Eric Jansen says, you never watched the 1 hour season 4 episode, have you? This is in response to Ray. They redefine worst Twilight Zone episode to a whole new level, and besides 4 half hours, the debate is solidly between Cavender's Coming, What's in the Box, and Probe 7 Over and Out. Well, worst episode being in season 4, and it's an hour long. Well, we got something to look forward to, I suppose. Jonathan Stein says, not a great episode. The character has no likability. Him suddenly having this power made no sense. And you can see the twist coming a mile away. Rigpa10 says, nothing in the Twilight Zone makes LOL. You should just stop watching. That's in response to Jonathan Stein. I mean, no, it's just that this is not one of the best episodes in the Twilight Zone, but Jonathan did come back and reply, I mean, usually stuff makes sense in context, but his ability just comes out of nowhere. I gotta agree with Jonathan here. When you actually watch the episode, there was no setup in that he had any kind of power. I mean, there was no, like, God watching over him saying, you know what, let's give him the ability right now, just for this momentary thing that he wants to do, and reverse it on him. I mean, there was just no setup for it. It was just like, this is going to happen, and it ended up happening to him, and that was it. But thanks for the comments, everybody. Very much appreciate it. And with all that being said, let's jump into the episode and see what we're getting into.
The Twilight Zone.
The New Life Corp. Like a lot of movies that uses silhouette for storytelling. Made famous in quite a few films. Indiana Jones, Star Wars.
Good afternoon.
Mr. and Mrs. Holt, Mr. Vance.
Mr. Holt. You're 79 years old, Mr. Holt.
I'm 74.
Wow, gosh, a younger lady there.
Great deal of sickness, Mr. Holt. Are you in pain now?
Seems it.
It's fairly constant now. It doesn't seem to let up.
We alleviate pain, Mr. and Mrs. Holt.
How so?
Our stock in trade is simply rebirth.
Well, that sounds great.
Would you tell us what is involved?
The process is quick and painless. Now, we've constructed other bodies. Physiologically and psychologically, you'll find that you're just as you are now, but in a different body.
Like a robot or an android, like a T-800.
She's all I've got. She's all I care about, you see.
Why don't I show you some of the models we have?
Model?
Ooh, we get to pick out our models, huh? Sweet.
Thanks, Ray. Thank you, Mr. Very well.
Just had to put stairs in.
Now, this is our dual special.
Hey.
Notice the height and muscular composition, Mr. Holt. We'd like to see these two go as a package. You note how greatly they complement each other? In fact, they show great promise. We put you to sleep. Memory bank, personality, continuity. You will awake in these new bodies.
And there would be no pain. I mean, I wouldn't have this.
Will there be any feeling? Would you just be numb?
But let me tell you something about the operation, the way it takes place. It's really so simple, so uncomplicated. You'd be quite amazed.
Tell us.
And quite painless.
Yeah.
And very fast, very swift. But we attach these two caps.
Hey, Rod.
Aging people who slowly and with trembling fingers. But these two senior citizens happen to live in a time of the future when nothing is impossible, even the trading of old bodies for new, who are about to find that there happens to be a zone with the same name.
Ooh. The trade-ins.
Romping at the beach and across the hall.
Hey.
Cocktail hour.
I can't see their faces. That's kind of important when I'm picking a model out.
Well, that's our stock on display.
Mr. Vance, you want it on the video phone.
Feel free to browse. Any questions? I'll be right back.
A video phone back then, huh?
It's like a miracle.
Marie, it doesn't seem real, does it? I mean, to be young again, to live without pain, to all over again, Marie, just you and I.
I'm waiting for the twist. What's the downside here?
You think you can stand me maybe for another century?
If I have to.
For 10 centuries. Till death do us part.
Matter of fact, they're all ready to go right now. We could begin any time.
How about...
I am an incredibly bad student.
How about right now?
You can have the transformation for 1 week on approval. If you're not satisfied, we exhume your old bodies. You'd be surprised how infrequently that occurs. 98% satisfaction in the 12 years that we have been operating.
How much would it cost, sir?
$5,000 per body for you and...
I'm noticing his face. It's pretty much makeup or something. I mean, it looks like they added some tissue paper or something and wrinkled them up more here.
I mean, you must see it for yourselves. It's a very economical figure.
Yeah, $5,000, and that's all we've got, these $5,000. No, we could make...
Government regulations prohibit any extension of credit.
This is all we've got, these $5,000. That's all we've got in the world. And
Mister, I am sorry. Believe me. We could, of course, perform the transference with just one of you.
Yeah, make him live, and then she'll die, and then he'll be stuck in a body he can't get rid of. That's the twist.
Now, please, I won't do that ever, darling. It'd have to be both of us or neither of us, you see. Please,
I understand,
take,
but
take.
perhaps another time.
Sorry. Go sell your house. Maybe try, I don't know, how much was a house back then? Had to be $10,000 then, right?
Come, darling. From Rabbi Ben Ezra by Browning. Remember? Grow old along with me. The best is yet to be, for which the first.
Pretty poem. What's up?
The bartender told me that I could gamble it.
Oh, no.
Oh, sure for you. Come on in.
So he's going to try to win the money.
Right over there.
Is he like an actual card shark? He had a moment in time when he had like a decade of just clearing tables.
Two queen. Thank you. You got Bob.
Is he going to have really great luck? And then they're going to think he's screwing with them. They actually think he's a cheater. And they take him for all his money and kill him. I don't know. I'm just making up stories now.
Hello. 100.
What's that?
What's the matter, Pop? You said?
Is he going to die during this game?
Bum, bum, bum. Team. Bum, bum.
Man, I kind of hope he wins. He seems like a sweet old man. One of those people that deserves a happy ending in the Twilight Zone. Is he all in?
Pays you 500, Pop.
Hold on.
You got it pretty bad, huh?
Yeah.
How long?
Any day now.
Last several years. I'm gonna clean you out, you know that, huh?
Maybe.
Yes, I'm sorry to hold up the game. No, you're not holding up the game, Pop, but you are taking a big chance. Why do you need the money? Now go on, tell me, I'm interested.
He wants a new body.
I wanted to be young again. Half of it, so I thought maybe, but I botched it. I'm no good at this, Mr. Faraday. Sick old useless man. Not worth anything to anybody.
He's going to give him the money?
You're raised, Pop.
No. Come on. Put the cards down.
You're called Mr. Faraday.
Or is he going to just fold and go, it's all yours?
I have 3 big ones, Pop. Bigger than those, Mr. Faraday.
3 aces? No. Come on. He's going to be a good guy.
Be my guest. You came with 5,000, you leave with 5,000. You walk away, Pop. The game's over. I can't help it. I just can't help it. Marie will understand. Like this, I can't live and I can't die, but this pain, she'll understand. Yes, Marie will understand.
Is he going to give him money out of the kindness of his heart?
I just have no other choice. She always understood. Dum. Please forgive me. I just can't stand this pain any longer.
Now go ahead, my dear. They're waiting for you.
Are you Mr. Holt?
Do it.
Yes.
She just wants a younger husband.
Yes.
Bye. She's like, hell yeah. Oh, they're going to take the floor model. What if it's dented and dinged?
My husband, is he all right?
Your husband is just fine, Mrs. Holt. He'll be coming out in a moment.
Mrs. Holt? Mr. Holt.
Honey.
Look at me! See what I can do! And there's no pain, Marie. There's no pain at all.
Wow.
You know what happens now?
I find younger woman?
We'll live. We'll do everything on earth that we haven't been able to do. A reception, and every evening a honeymoon, and every...
Is she going to die like right now?
My darling, you and I are going to begin to live.
Uh-oh. What's happening?
Mr. Holt, I have some papers for you to sign. Would you step back here with me, please?
Sorry to keep you waiting so long.
They reverted back.
Marie, darling, if I have to have occasional pain, amen.
But
Grow old along with me. The best is yet to be. The last of life.
Ended up back to where they started.
Love gives not but itself and takes not from itself. For love is sufficient unto love. All the sentimentalists in the Twilight Zone.
Well, that was the Trade-Ins. Interesting episode. Definitely thought it was a lot better than the episode that I watched last week. But yeah, when it came to the ending, it ended up him wanting to revert back to his older self after he got to dance around in a younger body for a little bit. He just, I guess his wife and him looked at each other and realized that they're at two different stages of life and it's not going to be the same. And then I suppose that he just said, you know what, if I can't have her the way I, would, yeah. And I guess he said, you know what, if she's going to look at me in this way when I'm in this younger body and she can't do the things that I can do, then, it's going to be like me leaving her behind and I can't do that. It's her and me, and that's it. That's the way it's going to be. And, very loving story. It's a love story, I suppose you could say, and it had a little bit of a futuristic tone to it. But I really enjoyed the Trade-Ins. Thought it was an interesting storyline, a bit ahead of its time, far as I can. A bit ahead of its time too, because I've seen this story done in motion pictures. I think it was done with Ryan Reynolds one time. It was, but they did it with bodies. It wasn't like I don't know what this was really. It was like a machine or a robot. They didn't really specify exactly what the bodies were, just that they can be inputted with your consciousness. So very interesting how they it gets interpreted into other things. But anyways, let's jump into some trivia and see what it took to get this episode off the ground. Joseph Schildkraut's second wife of 29 years died while he was filming this episode. Coming from a theatrical family, he insisted on finishing the production before he'd begin mourning. Here, he plays an elderly man who must choose between a new body for himself or living the rest of his life with his wife in a pain-racked body. Well, I guess he really used his real-life situation in order to do a really good job in portraying the character that he was portraying in this particular episode. But yeah, I thought he did a wonderful job, and that's probably because he was really working from personal experience. In this episode, John Holt is 79 years of age, and his wife Mary Holt is 5 years his junior at 74 years of age. In real life, John Schildkraut was 66 years of age, and Alma Platt was 5 years his senior at 71 years of age. The episode focuses on age and becoming young again in 1962, the year the episode originally aired. The average life expectancy of a male was 66.9 years and 73.5 years for a female. Wow, we've really gone up on male and female, I suppose, from that time. And he was 66 years of age, so he wasn't really that old, so he for sure had some makeup going on. Make him look a lot older. Rod Serling's opening narration contains the words Twilight Zone, which is usual. However, there is an unusual aspect here, as these two words do not occur consecutively within it. In this episode, the first quotation mentioned is from the poem Rabbi Ben Ezra by Robert Browning from the first stanza, "Grow old along with me, the best is yet to be, the last of life for which the first was made. Our times are in his hand, who saith, a whole I planned. Youth shows but half. Trust God, see all, nor be afraid." The price of $5,000 seems rather low if it is $60, about $50,000 in 2024, for a new life, and would be almost laughable if it was currency from the 21st or later centuries, unless they were in fact some sort of new dollar that had been introduced in the future that was much more valuable. Khalil Gibran was a Lebanese-American writer, poet, and visual artist. He also was considered a philosopher, although he himself rejected the title. His best-known work was The Prophet, published in the United States in 1923. It has since become one of the best-selling books of all time, having been translated into more than 100 languages. Since first published, The Prophet has never been out of the print. Quotation in this episode was from the book The Prophet. "The love gives nothing but itself and takes nothing but from itself. Love does not possess, nor would it be possessed, and do not think that you could direct the course of love, for love, it finds you worthy, directs your course. Love is no desire but to fulfill itself." Well, that's it for this episode. Let me know, comment below what you thought of it. Until next time, see you later.